Today we have the second in the series of Midas's follies. So, this is the ass's ears. If Midas had been a wise man, he would have learned from his experiences, but he cannot be said to be a wise man, for his foolish tongue had led him to trouble more than once. All had begun easily enough, with a music contest between two brothers known as Midas and Marsyas, and the god Apollo. At first Marsyas had no instrument with which to play, and was forced to remain silent while Midas trilled on a simple tune with a single piped flute. But one day all of this changed. While idling along a riverside, Marsyas happened upon something that looked like a bone of a deer. On picking it up, he realized that it was not one, but two hollow bones, sculpted and smooth and fastened together to form a double-piped flute, the first of its kind that Marsyas had ever seen. What he did not know was that the flute had been fashioned for her own amusement by none other than the great goddess Athena herself. However, when she'd seen her reflection while she'd been playing it, she had dropped it in the river in disgust, and now it was Marsyas's. He put it to his lips and blew, and what a sound came out of it! It was the song of a skylark. It was the music of the spheres and the harmonies of heaven rolled into one. And he was playing it. He practiced some more, and as he did so, his confidence grew. The jigs and reels, the airs and laments, medleys and variations floated effortlessly from his pipes. And all the deliveries were done with such talent and flair. Why had he never realized his own genius before now? It was time to reveal himself to the world. And so he decided to take on a great challenge, the only one that a musician can, and pit his skills against not only those of Apollo, the master of the lyre and the lord of the muses, but also his brother. Apollo agreed to a contest which was to be judged by Tmolus, the mountain god, and the foolhardy Midas. Whoever won was to choose whatever punishment he wished for the loser. The first to play was Midas. On his single pipe it was all squeaks and whines, and he was so laughable that he was eliminated from the challenge immediately, leaving only Marsyas facing Apollo. Marsyas picked up his flute, and he played so beautifully that not only did all of the birds stop singing, but the crowd grew quiet and uncomfortable. Apollo picked up his lyre and played incredible melodies that sang like the clouds and the winds. All of the sky paused to hear him. But the crowd was torn, and no one knew who would win. The judges declared a tie, and it must be broken, so they ordered Marsyas to play his flute upside down. Obviously he couldn't do so. However, when Apollo turned his lyre upside down, he could still play beautifully, and so it was decided. "Fool!" cried Midas, forgetting the trouble that loose words had. "Where are your ears? Can you not hear that Marsyas was still the better player?" But Tmolus was already placing the victor's wreath upon Apollo's head. Now, in Apollo's cruel revenge, he claimed his prize, imposing hideous punishments on Marsyas. Some said that he turned him into a stream. Some said that he was followed by cacophonous music wherever he went. Some said that he lost his fingers, and others that he was tied upside down on a tree and the skin flayed from his body. The gods of Greece were not to be trifled with. Apollo then turned his attention to Midas. "Where are your ears, you ask? Well, look to your own." And as Midas touched his ears, he felt long, luscious donkey's ears growing from his head. So ashamed by this was he that he wore a hat from then on, a crown if he could, or any hat that he could find, and he told no one of this, but there was one man who knew the secret: the king's barber. The barber knew this, and he was sworn on pain of death to tell no one, but such a secret churns inside a man and tears him apart. And so one day, after cutting the king's hair, he snuck outside the palace, he snuck outside of the town, and outside of the walls, he dug a hole in the forest near where all of the farms were, and he whispered into the hole, "Midas has ass's ears." And then he buried the secret, and he left feeling a lot better about himself and a lot lighter. The next year passes, and when harvest comes around, reeds and corn grow out of the earth, and as the wind flows through all of these reeds, it whispers its secret onto the air so that all the kingdom knew. Midas has ass's ears. Midas has ass's ears. And so his stupidity was known to all. The end.